Right, OK, well, now let's bring in Dr. Sreeram Chaulia, the Dean of the Jindal School of International Affairs. Dr. Chaulia, welcome back to RT International. In terms of who may have carried out Sunday night's atrocity, the officials haven't said for certain who they believe it to be, but fingers are pointing towards Kurdish militants. If that's true, what does that mean for the Kurds living in the southeast after all they've endured with the anti-terror operation?
Well, I'm afraid they're going to be pounding more military jets and raising the southeast part of Turkey into rubble. It's already been happening for several months now. And there is a danger of a regional spillover too. Across the border into Iraq and Syria, the Turkish military has been carrying out many such raids and operations and so-called invasions in the last several months. So I think we are going to see an escalation as far as the Turkish state's strategy is concerned. Instead of correcting the policy mistakes of going after the Kurds, they're actually going to double down on this. And I'm afraid that what it will do eventually is to continue to strengthen jihadist groups in Syria and prevent any kind of peace settlement. So there is a kind of a regional externalities of this event in Ankara, which are going to be negative.
As you've mentioned there, the Kurdish areas straddle more than just Turkey. I suppose it's easy to forecast that the Kurds in the southeast of Turkey could face repercussions over what happened on Sunday in Ankara. As you said, the reports on AFP that Turkey has bombed Kurdish positions in Iraq as well. We know Iraq's furious at Turkey's moves on its sovereign territory. How wide and how bad could this get as a result of what happened last night?
Yes, Turkey is actually very unpopular in both Iraq and Syria because it is seen to be playing some kind of a neo-Ottomanist, neo-colonial rule that harks back to the 19th century when they had dominated the Arab land. And now the Kurds are another factor which Turkey is now using to try and assert its control over the region. But unfortunately, the proxies they have in Syria and in Iraq are not winning the war. So therefore, Turkey is becoming more desperate and will try to use these terrorist attacks as a pretext to increase its military interventions and proxy wars in the region. And unfortunately, it goes against, as I said, they have been scheming behind the scenes to prevent legitimate Kurdish groups like the YPG of Syria from participating in the Syrian peace talks. So they're going to now argue that these are all terrorists and therefore we cannot include them in the peace process. But unfortunately, as we know, Erdogan's policies have been actually to support the rise of terrorism in the region in order to carve out a Turkish influence, to check Iran. All these are negative policies which unfortunately is not learning from the mistakes. There are more and more attacks happening and the state continues the same policy without changing the course and rectifying its errors.
I suppose quite chillingly as well, the US Embassy in Ankara warned on Friday of a possible terror attack in the city of Ankara. Let's just take a quick listen.
There is information regarding a potential terrorist plot to attack Turkish government buildings located in the Bahçelievler area of Ankara.
Dr. Chaulia, the district in question is close to where that car bomb detonated on Sunday night. What do you think went wrong then? Is there a failure by the Turkish security services, who've been on heightened alert for months, if not years or decades, or have terror tactics got far more sophisticated?
Well, Turkey is hosting nearly 3 million Syrian refugees, and it has, of course, a large Kurdish community. And the wars that it's been prosecuting lately do lead to feelings of revenge and retaliation from affected communities. So it would not be surprising that they have used the means of terror to blow back at the Turkish state's policies and try and change its policies. But at the same time, indeed, it is a signal failure of the Turkish state that despite having such a heavy military and such a large, defense expenditure and an intelligence apparatus, it's not able to prevent these attacks that are happening almost every 1 or 2 months in Istanbul or in, and that too in top tourist locations and soft targets. So it really means that the priorities of the Turkish state, instead of fighting regional wars and using proxies, they should have been focusing on internal security and on peace processes. And in fact, the priorities are totally opposite, where they want aggrandizement and military conquest and domination. And therefore, we are seeing the boomerang effect of all these policies now.
And of course, for the Kurds living in southeast Turkey, a roller coaster of emotion for them over the past few days, because we've been reporting here, Ankara saying that it's ended its campaign in the largest Kurdish city, Diyarbakir. I guess now, too soon for them to celebrate the end of that operation. What do you think they're feeling right now?
I'm afraid for the people of the Kurdish populated regions of Turkey, this is like a nightmare that is never going to end, because the moment Erdogan decided that he needed for political purposes to polarize the society between Turks and Kurds and between Arabs and Kurds, between Sunnis and Shia, the moment he started using ethnic and sectarian polarization for his domestic political agenda to try and win back a majority, it was clear that the minorities were going to become scapegoats or worse, guinea pigs for his power-hungry way of doing things. So I think we are paying the price. He's won elections, that's true, but on the other hand, he has hubris, and Erdogan is not in a position to turn back now, because he has taken Turkey towards a very deep crisis, which involves, unfortunately, subjugation as well as massive abuses of civilians both within and across the region.
OK, we'll wait to hear from Turkish officials about who they will name regarding who might be responsible for Sunday night's atrocity. But for now, I really appreciate your thoughts. Dr. Sreeram Chaulia from the Jindal School of International Affairs. Thank you.